done is just asking the police officials standing in front of these students what the plan is. In other words, who is the operational command? And I'm not sure that there seems to be one person that's taking the lead in all of this. But again, it's just only from my vantage point. It's not the, I haven't spoken to every police officer here, but just seeing the breach in the fence, we're not sure that there is an operational response, just visually speaking. But again, as I said, that could change. I want us perhaps to come out a little bit more to show you the scope of what's happening and what the situation of the cops is in relation to these protesters. I've counted probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about a handful of police officers, less than a dozen. I've also tried to establish whether they are calling for reinforcements and what the operational response might be. Of course, we don't expect police officers to give us a direct response because they get their instructions, obviously, from their superiors. So as it stands, it seems like they're the ones here managing this. You'll see other uniformed officers here as well. And we were given to understand that those were from the VIP protection unit. So I can see people on their phones, but I'm not sure what decisions are being made.
Where must I be?
Again, Kathy, just standing here almost at eye level with the students right in front of me, it would be unfair to try and give you a very broad perspective. All I can say is that we've probably got about 200 meters of fence that I can see, and the majority of students against the fence are quite docile, quite subdued. There's a handful just in front of where we're bringing you picture from right now that seem to be really passionate or emotional about what's going on, demanding to come through. Just over the heads of the students that you're seeing now are vast numbers of students accessing the South Lawns, coming through. But as I mentioned, it doesn't seem as if this particular sentiment is necessarily at this point being shared by the collective as a whole. Still hearing chanting, still 1 or 2 missiles coming over the fence, but by and large, it's remained static for the last few minutes or so. Again, not much because I haven't been able to eavesdrop on that conversation, but like I said, just asking some of the officers, most are reluctant to really give you a direct answer, and that I suppose is understandable because they act under the command of their superiors. But everyone, on this side of the fence seems to be really calm and just taking a very sort of one-step back approach to what's happening. They're not inciting the protesters. They seem to be just sort of assessing the situation. But as I mentioned earlier, the stage is just behind me, and there was a security check done a little bit earlier with for the president's arrival. That's where he'll be addressing students from. So there would be concern about if students access this particular area, whether it would still be safe for the president to give them an address. Let's walk you through a bit more of the territory here and show you a bit more of what's happening. Someone's got a fire extinguisher around this side of the fence. And as you see, just being cautioned by one of the VIP protection people. Guys, we can see you up against the fence, and the other students on the other side were saying that they really want to come in, they want to get into the union buildings, talk to the president. What's your feeling?
He's not special. We want to enter here. He's not special. He must increase his brains. Leave our visa alone. He's not special.
Which institution are you with? Which institution are you with? Which university?
TUT, Pretoria campus. Yeah.
Here's a student from the University of Pretoria. And this morning you're here. Why?
We want our man. Fees must fall. We want to play the man today.
You have heard that the president will be addressing students from the podium just behind me. Are you looking forward to hearing from him or no?
The issue here is that he's not taking us serious. We've been waiting here for a while, and the agreement was 10 o'clock. You see, so they're not taking us serious. We are here. Where is he now? We want him to come here and address.
As far as we were given to understand, there was going to be a photo opportunity at the union buildings. They were then going to have their discussion, and there was going to be a feedback session later in the day between the president and students. You're saying you understood something different.
No.
Our leaders have spoken. Our leaders have addressed us last night. They told us that they'll be meeting with President Jacob Zuma, and they're gonna talk and make these discussions, and then afterwards they'll give us feedback. We are listening to our leaders, and we are going to be patient. We are going to give them a chance to address us.
Are you also going to be part of the fence breaking, or is that not for you?
No, we're not here to vandalize any property. All we want is answers.
One at a time.
All we want here is answers. We're not here to vandalize anything.
All right, let's talk, Kathy, to one of the people in the crowd that have identified themselves as a parent of one of the students. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome. Tell us a bit more about yourself and your child that's studying.
Yeah, my name's Grandson. I'm a graduate. I've come through the system as well. But my children are 11 and 9 years old at the moment. By the time they reach university stage and we don't take the type of action that the students are taking now of 6 and 11%, then when will we realize the promise of 94 with regards to the...
Is that why you're here?
That's why I'm here. I'm here in solidarity to support these guys and to make sure that we realize what promises were made in 1994 so that they materialize and so that we better the country.
Grant, thanks for
it's overdue.
talking to us. Let's go back. Let's take you back to the epicenter, so to speak, of what's happening here on the South Lawns. Let's just show you increased police presence. And I'm not sure if those are members of the task force now. They've got their protective gear, the helmets and so on with them. There certainly seems to have been an operational response. Let's take you up the hill. You can see there as well, more police officers deployed here. So as I mentioned, or as I said right at the very beginning this morning, Kathy, the only thing that's predictable about today is the absolute and sheer unpredictability of the moment. I'm going to try and find out, Kathy, if we can establish who is in charge of the operation and perhaps what the game plan might be for students that want to actually breach the fence. And let's show you again, they've made some progress on tearing that wall down. All right, let's take a step back now and show you how this operation is coming together. All right, I'm just instructing our camera to take a step back so I can show you against the wall how this operational plan is starting to take shape and form. We see more police officers deployed, they're up against the wall. Still the situation seems unpredictable but fairly calm in comparison to what we saw earlier on. And the overriding chant, fees must fall. All right, let's just maybe show you one of the, some of the things that have come over the fence. There's a stick there, there's a rock over there. That particular stick almost got me, but my reflexes are good, having grown up in the hood, Kathy, and one or two rocks. But again, nothing, just from a cursory point of view, nothing overtly threatening. There is frustration, there are demands for answers, there are demands for a direct audience with the president. But certainly it seems that for now, particularly on that stretcher of gate there where you see the chain, which was really the source of some passionate reaction, that seems to have calmed down. And one hopes that that will really set the tone for how the situation will unfold from here on in. Right, I want to show you something else, Kathy, sorry to interrupt. The picture we're now showing you, and we're going to try and walk towards that scene, is what seems to be police officers receiving their instructions for how the situation must unfold. Let's show you some of the officers in their gear, gearing up. And the consultation and I imagine the potential deployment happening just to my left-hand side. Again, we would have been reminded of the interdict that parents brought, I think it was in the Cape High Court yesterday, against police brutality or the use of excessive force. And, one only hopes that the intervention plan or the management plan of the scene takes heed of some of the observations that were made by many, including political leaders over the last couple of days, about the use of excessive force. So this is the situation right now. I wonder if we can also maybe get to a higher vantage point just to show you the rest of the students. I mean, it's not all about what's happening right up against this wall.
Linge has a shot.
Linge has a shot, so we'll take his shot and he can show you a bit more perspective on what's happening here versus what's happening right up against this wire meshing.
They've been waiting for months now for vacancy. We are waiting for vacancy.
Kathy, I don't know if we can come back to where I'm standing and just ask some of these students. Sorry, guys.
We're waiting for vacancy Monday.
Just to ask you, the rest of the students along the line don't seem to want to bring the fence down. They're quite happy to stand on the other side and wait for the president to address them. Why do you guys want to get inside?
They've been waiting for a long time now. We've been...
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
To communicate that we're waiting for the president because people are getting agitated. So all we're asking for is a mega speaker to tell our people to stay calm.
You want someone out here to take some leadership and to say this is the situation and to update you.
Yes, you guys have a microphone right there. You've got speakers. Just tell people to stay calm. It's that basic. It's unprofessionalism. We've been asking for that for like an hour now. Just use the mic, tell people to stay calm, and we'll stay calm.
All right, so Kathy, I think one of the things that is really emblematic about the last couple of days is this issue of communication. And what students are saying is they're restless, they're frustrated. I mentioned the temperatures to you earlier on, 23 degrees with a high of 29. It's very hot. They want someone to come out and just say what the plan of action is. They, in their minds, were expecting the president to address them at 10 o'clock. They say it's way overdue. They're getting restless and tired. Can someone come out and just say something that will inform them of the process and will bring calm back? We also heard a bit of an uproar a few seconds ago. Again, I'm not too sure what that is about. We're getting the attention of some students here. Yes, good morning.
Our message is clear. We are not here to fight or to do anything. We are asking Zuma to implement a policy that will ensure that a black child is being given a sufficient opportunity to get education which will enable him to serve as a panacea to our ailing economy. We are not asking for much. Maybe he must think enough, while he's still in Mashabandlov, dining and whining with cabinet ministers and head of state, he must think of the conditions of a black child. What we are asking for is for him to realize with those in the Lutula. Give us this good message that indeed I will implement a policy that will ensure that you get we are patient. We are patient.
They told us what they want, now we're telling them what we want. We don't need that 6%.
All right, again, some of the views from students there. Some are patient, some are waiting and ready to hear from the president. Others are saying they want access now. Something is happening over the back. And do we have a second camera on that shot? Okay, so let's show you what's happening right at the back. I see that, Kathy, and some of them are advancing towards this point. As you can see, largely now, things are fairly calm, particularly insofar as the fence is concerned and the need and the desire to want to breach that fence. I mentioned the fact that police, there's been an increased police deployment, but as more and more students come, as the heat begins to beat down on these students, one doesn't know how long the patience might last. Okay, you would hear a song which basically calls the president a traitor being chanted by a fairly good portion of students just in front of me. You asked about the fence. The situation around the fence, particularly the part that was torn down a little bit, seems to be calm as all of the students here are looking out towards the crowds that are now approaching. It's very hard to estimate, Kathy, just how many people are here, several hundred, perhaps even a few thousand at this stage, and my producer's nodding. They've done sort of a rough count. It's very hard to gauge because the groups are moving around. Various flags in the crowds. We did hear right at the very beginning by student leaders on campus that this was not going to be a party political protest, that all students were brothers, all students were sisters, they're in this common and shared humanity. I'm not sure why they're all running away. I think we have a second camera. A lot of students running in the opposite direction. I'm not sure if that's part of the song. I think it is. So fortunately nothing exploding as far as that is concerned. We'll probably see a lot of that this morning. For now though, spirited but calm, Kathy. That is the question, Kathy. As I said, we're seeing more and more police officers making their way towards this scene. Maybe about 24 now. But we try to speak to the one person who looked like the authority and the leader, the man with the earpiece in the ear and a suit on. But of course, they're very reticent to share some of those details with us. I imagine, of course, it's subject to operational protocol. They wouldn't want to give away too much to the media or to anyone else exactly how they plan to respond to it. But if the earlier situation is anything to judge by, it seems like they are able to bring calm and control back to the situation. Whether this in fact lasts over the course of the day, again, is a matter of speculation and a matter of time. So the one right in front of me, and I think our camera is on it, university shouldn't be a death sentence, DEBT. Another bright yellow one asks police, where are your children? And there were some poignant images shared on Twitter over the last few days of a fully clothed, uniformed police officer marching side by side with one of the students. And people were saying how indicative that was of the widespread solidarity that this particular cause was receiving across South African society, even those that work in government. Again, you'll see right at the bottom a sort of circling of protesters around the monument, coming back up towards the flanks of the South Lawn. And we all know, of course, that is the statue of Louis Botha. There are a few students on there, and my eyesight's not that great, Kathy. I can't tell you what's on the placard on the tail of Louis Botha's horse. So there are 1 or 2 students there. But again, if you look to the extreme right-hand side, and I want to contrast what you're seeing there with what we are seeing on our extreme right-hand side is complete and utter calm as some students take shelter under the trees. What was outstanding from the very beginning was along the range of hashtags, fees must fall and so on around the country, was also the hashtag protest and pass. And we saw, particularly in the Wits situation, students had been allocated time to protest, and they'd also allocated themselves time to pass. So there were these study groups, and I went up to Wits, the Wits Great Hall, which has been renamed Solomon Mahlangu House. And you'd see a whole program of actions which include several hours for study, and this was the process every night. So along with this has been the consciousness that actually our parents are still paying. We're still in debt for this year, so we better make good on the effort that we've already put in this year. So it's been interesting that this has been, the different picture here in Gauteng. We know that there have been other universities around the country, 1 or 2 where there's been looting, there's been the burning of university property and so on. So not all of them have run in quite the way that this has. We've also seen student leadership emerge quite strongly, especially in the Wits example. We've seen their student leaders out and about in the streets of the CBD. So there is coherence in some aspects around student leadership and perhaps not so much in others. Let's take you back 2 scenes from the crowd now, and again you'll see police officers at the ready. They have all their equipment, they're decked out, but again it's not a precipitous situation seemingly. There doesn't seem to be a standoff. Everything, again, remains calm. Well, you heard me speak to one of the parents just now. His kids aren't even in university. They're in grade 11 and 3. And he says the reason he's here as a parent showing solidarity with the students is because he wants a future where his children are going to be able to gain from whatever's accomplished here today and in the weeks and months ahead. He wants his children to grow up in a South Africa where there is free education. And he reiterated the sentiment we heard outside Luthuli House yesterday that, 1994 is over and basically the honeymoon is over. So there is that kind of talk from parents. And I think what's also touching, Kathy, is for people who've criticized students, when they've begun to realize the backstory, the stories of the domestic workers and the taxi drivers and the nurses and the pick and pay packers and all of those who work in retail and so on, single moms, single dads who are trying to put their children through school. I think there's been a greater sense of humanity around what we're seeing, that it's not just the singular student that you see here, but they bring with them their family history, their stories of intergenerational debt and their stories of intergenerational poverty, and looking at this moment as a line in the sand where they can break with that tradition and perhaps create a future where they go into their professional lives and their jobs without a debt burden, and where they can fully take care of the added responsibilities, referred to commonly, colloquially as black tax, take care of the responsibilities of extended family, siblings, and other kids in the greater family that they have to look after.
Sizobabona.
Okay. From the top, I'm running.
Okay. How would you guys say social media has aided this protest?
Okay, one of the things for me, I feel like there's such a big disparity between what the media is broadcasting and what's actually happening on the ground. And so I find myself spending more time on Twitter and Facebook to actually know what's happening. You know, you don't see the students studying in the evenings after the day of protest. You don't see the students cleaning after in the streets after the protest. You know, all they just paint them out as these barbaric hooligans. You know, so.
Like I know I was in Pretoria for the past weekend, and I literally found out everything that was happening through social media, and wherever the students were, I knew through social media. Even getting here today, because we're from Wits, we knew when the buses were leaving, how many buses were leaving, at what time, where, like through social media.
And also with things like changes, like with gathering students like from Parktown and walking to main campus. I know yesterday that didn't happen, so that we found out through social media that now you're going to go to JCE, you're going to take the buses and you're going to take Parktown.
Earlier on, a large contingent of students seems to be joining the gathering here. I would say maybe a few hundred, a whole group of them marching towards this point. So the flanks seem to be quite full. Where I'm standing in front of me seems to be, you know, many people
see the same energy, if not even better than the previous day, because of social media. And also people, that's how we actually got to communicate with other universities. NMMU, UCT saw that on social media, and that's how the message was carried across the country.
Well, there's no better spokesperson for the students than themselves. Their voices can speak for themselves. Let's talk to some of these. I wanted to show you the sign. I don't know if we can go back a little bit and just show you some of the signs that we see here. Unfortunately, I think that one needs a little, your one needs a little more color, but the one up here, I don't want to end up like Zuma, fees must fall, Blade must fall. The PYA has also got a sign up there saying regulate universities. And as I said, a whole lot of students across the student formations are here today. But it is their story, so let's hear it. Again, you know, your stories of why you're here.
We want a free education and 0%. Simple.
Fees must fall.
You guys sound a little tired. I mean, you know, someone give us a sense of what time you woke up this morning. Let's talk to you. What time did you wake up this morning to get here?
I woke up 6 o'clock. Luckily, I'm close to university.
So you're close by?
Yes.
Who came from further afield? Who came from outside? Here's some of the students here that came perhaps from a little further away. Where did you come from?
We're from the University of Pretoria, and we've been awake. We went to bed at 3 a.m. after the night vigil, and then we woke up.
Sign up because
and we woke up.
You. No, take it away. Yeah.
And then we woke up again at 6 a.m. around 5 a.m. to meet at the Tux campus, and we mobilized from there through Church Street, and now we're here. We're waiting for our president.
So you've had very little sleep, I imagine.
Basically, this is the life.
And did you manage to get a good breakfast? Did you carry some water for yourself? yourselves?
Yes. There've been packages of food and water supply all around Burea.
Yes.
Has that been supplied by Good Samaritans, by people, or by the students?
Yes, it has, ma'am, because University of Pretoria Uprising, our movement, we set up points for food and water for students to get along the way, as long as we march along the way to here, along Church Street.
Students as well.
Thanks, guys. Let's find out who's from elsewhere, who's from outside of Pretoria, and perhaps came in from other places to be part of the protest this morning. I see some of the signs up here. Why do you feel so passionate about being here today and really being a part of this?
Because we really deserve
Come
this.
closer.
Because we really deserve this. Education is a right, not a privilege. So they don't have to make a barrier in order to separate the poor from the rich.
Tell me your family story. Tell me your family story and what it means to your family to have you study.
To have me studying, we are going through tough times for me to study. Can't even afford fees. I have outstanding balances, and now they want to increase on top of that. How are we going to survive?
Do you have other brothers and sisters?
My little sister is doing matric now, and she's about to go to varsity too, so it's a struggle.
Does it look like she might be able to go with the NIFSAS funding and other opportunities, maybe for bursaries and sponsorships? Is she likely to go or not?
I don't know. I can't say on that.
You want to share something? You're good. Yeah, here's another story over here. And I must say, Kathy, in the way the reportage is working this morning, you have it's a strange feeling for me to be able to, to have to talk to students through a mesh fencing. It feels, eerily like some other situations we see where, people are kind of held back. But of course, we know that there's a security concern here. The Union Buildings is up the road. Of course, that's a site that has to be locked down. There's a certain, level of access and so on that must be taken into consideration. But I just wanted to point out that it does feel a bit strange to, to talk to students through a wire fence. You were saying?
Yes, ma'am, the reason why I'm here especially is because, we feel like the government makes decisions for us, not with us. The students are not heard. Why must this happen for us to get a voice? And I was watching yesterday when Minister Blade Nzimande was talking. How could you laugh? How could you make a joke like students will fall if they don't?
Some would say that, it happened in a context. He was making a throwaway remark. It was really meant lightly. It certainly didn't mean to sound the way it came out. Do you buy that explanation?
I don't. A part of being a leader, I feel, is you have to carry yourself in a certain manner. You cannot allow situations like that to happen. Although I do understand that things might be taken out of context, but as a leader, you have a responsibility to carry yourself in a certain manner. And I feel that we're not receiving that, and emotions will run high when things like that happen. And we all have stories here. We all have stories. We're all frustrated. We're all trying to make a better future for ourselves. But if we feel like we're not being heard and we feel like decisions are made for us and there's nothing we can do, we definitely will react in a certain manner.
All right, Kathy, let's find some more stories for you, and maybe we can go back as we started on this level of the lawns. When the students first came up to the fence, there's some calls here for students to talk to us. Yes, go ahead.
We are ready enough for Mr. Jacob Zuma, and actually thank you for the mandate to address the media. We've been here, we've been waiting for him, so he should come out with Blade Nzimande and address us. When are our fees falling? We want free fees to fall. Maybe he can sell some of his cows so that fees can fall. We are here for that. It's a protocol. If management does not respond to us, we have all the ways to do it. It's a proto. That's how we do things.
All right, let's continue to walk down here, and some more students indicating that they want to talk to us and have their voices heard. Why is it important that you are here today?
You see, ma'am, we didn't come here simply because we're angry or we're stressed or don't have things to do. Some of us were students. In fact, all of us were students. We came here to voice ourselves, to inform the ANC-led government that the fees that they are charging us, in fact, they're exorbitant. We can't afford such. Those fees have to be increased. We are aware that we cannot have education freely. So, but then again, such fees should be truncated to suit us. We can't afford such.
Are you worried about your exams?
I'm definitely worried about my exams. I'm from the National Library of South Africa. I've been reading there. I'm studying. I'm preparing everything as we're protesting. We can protest and pass at the same time.
Yeah, and we heard that hashtag emerge earlier this week, Kathy, the protest and pass hashtag. All right, so we're back at the stretch of fence that we thought might come down a little earlier. There was a source of concern for the police. Maybe let's just do a quick temperature check with some of the students here. Guys, does anyone want to talk to us and maybe just say where you're at this point and what your expectation is from what's happening just up the hill?
We are very tired. We are waiting for Zuma to come and address us. We are here, students, interracial, inter-institutional, and we just want him to speak to us. The fees are too high. We are tired.
And do you know what the program is for today?
We don't know. We are waiting for them. Otherwise, we will break this thing. They must come.
Is there a sense of restlessness? Do you know what's going to happen today? Do you know what's expected?
Well, I heard of a meeting, so yeah, that's what I know so far, and we just want to know what's going to happen with the fees. That's what the students are concerned about. What's going to happen with the fees? We want the fees to decrease.
Look, it looks like it might be a long day. We know that the meeting got off a short time ago. Are you guys prepared to wait? Are you patient enough?
I am prepared to wait, and I know if I'm prepared to wait, then everybody else that's at the back here is prepared to wait, because we want answers right now. That's all that we want.
But now our question is, how long are we going to wait here? Because we've been here since 8 o'clock waiting for the president to come, and they're busy changing the schedules. So, yeah.
We could really appreciate it if he comes out, really.
Or if someone, would you appreciate if instead of the president, an emissary or representative came out?
We want the president. We want the president. We want answers from him specifically.
All right, let's show you again what's happening along the wall. And I think we're going to leave it there for now, Kathy. Students saying they just want to be kept in the loop. They want to know what's to happen next.
Do you hang up this one or
Firstly, I can't hear the question clearly from all the singing that's happening behind me. One thing that I will tell you is that this is the third group to leave Burgers Park. Our first group already left. We told that they weren't patient enough to wait for the Wits buses to arrive here in Pretoria, and in fact they started their journey earlier on. Another group followed. The group that you're seeing right now behind me is the third group and hopefully the final group. But we're still told more buses are coming in from various parts of the province, still making their way to this historic march today. There's another group ahead that's meeting this group number 3. Rallying support and galvanizing. I've never seen anything like this.
So when you speak, keep it this side, like that. You can.
There's no way, Joe, I can run and keep it down there.
No. What I'm saying, when you talk, because as it comes down, let me explain to you. I'm not getting anything.
Yeah,
I'm not getting anything. Just like this. I don't know. Yeah. You don't have to lift it up to your mic or to your mouth.
It's unnatural.
Yeah, any level like up until somewhere here is fine. Basically, when it's here.
than my narration. So we're just going to show you a bit of a 180-degree perspective of what the scene is like here on the south lawns of the Union buildings. From the extreme right that we've just shown you, students gathered under trees as we come across just the main portion of the lawn. A lot of students up against.
Yes? I can't. I'm doing crossings as I'm speaking to you. I just put them on hold. What's wrong? Can you log on to my email? And then the last email to him. I'll try and look for it. I'm going to look for it here. I'm going to see if I saved it or not, just on email. He sent it to me on email. Zikana, I can't talk. I have to run. We try to overlay as much as we can. Can you? Okay. Okay, wait. So what do you want? You want Stuart's number at least? Can I send you his number? Okay, cool. I'll do that.
University of Pretoria. We're from TUT, and I've heard, students from further afield outside the province as well making their way here. So that sense of solidarity and everyone being knit together by a common
you
thread,
can come
by
back
common
even
cause,
now if you
common
want.
objective,
Oh, but Joseph
seems to
is
be
a
the dominant one. We see students across the political
Oh,
lines
really?
joining
Church, I
hands,
didn't see that.
dancing, singing, chanting.
Okay,
and that really seems
Joel.
to be the tone so far. And just to let you know.
Okay,
as
Joel's
well,
riding
as
on
I
the back
come
of the
to you,
motorbike right now.
again,
He's gone to a
another
first
contingent of
smaller
police.
group
It seems
in
to be the same
front
group from earlier
of
on, so
this
it
main
doesn't seem
group
to be a
behind me.
reinforcement
So he's
group,
going to get this.
But another group of policemen sort of moving closer to the.
That's the smaller group. What you see now is the smaller group in front of this bigger group where I was crossing from. It's Joel, and we've got a motorbike. We've got a motorbike. So when he comes back down to my side, when you see my face, and then to me, yeah. Yeah. Shot. Bye.
Crossings, just the weight of expectation that rests on this meeting. We know based on the president's statement that this seems to be a listening event, a moment to be able to get everyone around the same table and really hear firsthand. From this meeting, this engagement with a decision. If that is not possible, I think that there might be
We're still coming to you live from the streets of Pretoria, where thousands of students have galvanized under a hashtag that has spread across the country, hashtag fees must fall. We're still along the streets of Pretoria, making our way to the Union buildings, thousands of students in song, in solidarity. The song they're singing now is Sizabalela Ilizwe. They are struggling for
in and among some of the students we've spoken to, feeling a little bit of exclusion and this disconnection in the process. I think, again, if this morning is just a metaphor for how things are running and perhaps should run, is this lack of communication. No one's here saying, this is how things are going to roll today, this is what you should be aware of. And perhaps it talks to the emotions that some of the students have felt over the last couple of days, that we're not really being kept in the loop. We're not really feeling like we're part of this process. I suppose, you know, the earliest snapshot we have of that is Vuyani Pambo, the EFF student leader, yesterday in the streets of the CBD outside Luthuli House, asking the SG of the ANC to sit down and humble himself, and that speaking to a feeling of not being respected. But you heard the SG respond to that yesterday evening, saying, you know, there's a difference between respect and being humiliated. He said that the party respected the students, anticipated their arrival, the fact that they invited themselves down to Luthuli House by creating a soundstage for them to present and to talk to the students from, by also making themselves available, coming down from, I imagine, the 6th floor of Luthuli House onto the streets to address students. That was enough of a show of respect. But to ask him to sit down on the streets, and I think he even made the quip that if there was a traditional mat, perhaps, you know, it might have been considered. But in the way that it was prefaced, it would certainly have spelt humiliation. Of course, what did the journalists follow that up by saying, well, you know, did the VCs like Adam Habib, who did sit down in the group, did they humiliate themselves? But he wouldn't be drawn on that. There's a bit of activity now down there, some chanting. Let's maybe show you a little bit about what's happening. The kind of restlessness that I spoke of that's been happening sporadically seems to be gaining a little bit of voice, dying down again, police keeping a watchful eye. one of perhaps the anomalies in this morning's proceedings is the lack of communication around what students can expect happen insofar as who will address them and when. Some of them are calling for the president to come down and address them. What's interesting about the group is that there are various pockets. Some are really calm, as you mentioned, Kathy, sitting under the tree. Others are marching or chanting and running around the fields. Still others are, in various pockets, talking animatedly amongst themselves. There are moments, if you just watch, from a demeanor point of view, the way police are handling all of this is really keeping a watchful distance. There'll be a little flare-up across the fence. At one of the extremities, a little earlier on, several police officers ran there to see if the fence was being compromised. Then they came back. So the situation is fluid insofar as, how police have to respond to this, and also insofar as the behavior of the protesters themselves. A lot of flags, South African flags I can see, and various student formation flags. But as I said, by and large, it seems like no one in particular is taking leadership for this particular, march. Or there are certain groups of students that are being led by one or two people, but really it is a fluid thing. I suppose at some point when we hear, officials or leadership address the students is when we'll get an understanding of exactly who the various leadership formations are. Kathy, I'm going to stand down for a second. We've been asked to vacate the spot that we're on right now, so we're going to go down, rejoin the crowd, and be back live to you from our position here on the Union Building South Lawns. Were you guys assembled at Burger Park, and where did you come from?
From TUT.
From TUT. You came straight here.
We came to strike. We want Blade Mass fall. Yesterday he said today is the one who's supposed to fall.
So why do you want to come inside?
We want Blade himself. We want Blade now. Let them have Blade.
Let's take you to another point in the fence, Kathy. I want our camera to show you just how precarious this fence is. It might actually come down. Again, let's talk about what students want. Some are calling for calm. Some are saying open the gate. Let's hear from students.
We want these gates open now. We want to come in. We are here to address the president. They must open.
You want to go straight up to the Union Building to talk to the president?
You want to see President face to face now. They must open this gate.
Open this gate now.
You know that he is going to address students from their podium up there. You're not prepared to wait.
Yeah, we are not prepared to wait. We wait so long. Now it's time to finalize.
How many times?
What campus are you from?
We are tired of
TUT, VET,
Another one says he's tired of dialogue.
We are tired of dialogue. Zuma must implement a policy that will say that we do not pay our tuition fees. We are saying that we are tired of dialogue. We are tired of fighting. We want changes, and changes must come now.
All right, well, a couple of things, Kathy. Kids are really restless. They are saying that they're giving the president or members of the cabinet an hour between, I think it's 12:25 right now, till 1:30 to come down or else. I don't know what the or else means. I mean, you saw students there, try to bash the fence. We spoke to a BBC journalist a short time ago. He was struck with a rock on the back of his head, bleeding profusely. He's been taken up towards the union buildings for treatment. I had a look at his injury, severe bleeding on his head, but we're not sure if he's going to need stitches or not. So we want to be able to bring you the story, but also be cognizant of our safety as well. Let's maybe go down and talk to those students who issued the ultimatum for the presidency or members of the executive to come down and brief them and ask them about the 1:30 deadline. You guys, you said that you're going to give until 1:30.
No, our government is not taking us in a while.
Okay, we're being advised to walk away from the fence, Kathy, so we're going to heed that advice. I think police, again, as I said, maintaining a watchful distance on what's happening here. We haven't seen, any moves towards intervention, but situation very fluid and very unpredictable. Students targeting the anger now against the gate itself. And one wonders, what the interaction is going to be like if that gate comes down or if indeed the fence comes down. There's an altercation between students that we're seeing right now. I'm not sure if it's between each other, but that's the picture we're looking at. Kathy, this fence is about to go. This fence is about to go, Kathy. The one that we're looking at, they're targeting it, quite specifically. And a couple of the bands from where I'm watching look like they're about to give way. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm facing the cops right now, and a lot of them are keeping a distance towards the stage area. It's about 10 meters or so away from the fence itself. The rest that are stationed just alongside the fence are also keeping a watchful distance. I have no idea what the plan is going to be. Okay, there we have the first breach in the wall. And again, Kathy, it remains to be seen what's going to happen. That's the demeanor of the cops, as I mentioned earlier on, keeping a watchful distance. They're watching developments quite closely, and I'm not sure how they're going to react. While the camera is focused on that, I'm looking at the other police contingents, and they all seem to be very calm. They're standing back. So it's anyone's guess how this one unfolds, Kathy. Again, we're having to dodge a couple of missiles. They seem harmless enough, bottles of water, bottles of juice. Of course, unfortunately, with regard to the BBC journalist, there was a rock that hit his head. So we just have to be a little careful. It's getting quite hairy now. because it's not just the sticks, it's rocks now. Okay, oh, there comes some more stones and rocks. Okay, and the stage. Ouch! Oh, I've just been struck. Guys, I'm not sure what picture you can see, but it really is hairy where we are. There are some rocks coming over. I've just been struck by one, fortunately not badly. The stage itself, the truck of the stage has been hit. We'll show you the shattered glass here. So when we talk about the frustration levels, that certainly seems to be what's boiling. We're keeping a watchful eye, and I think where this stems from, based on earlier conversations, Kathy, is two things. The one is the ultimatum that was given for someone in the political leadership to come down and brief students, to let them know what the plan of action is going to be. And the other one, of course, is, of course, to assess the police response. So a situation that remains fluid, calm at times, and then completely unpredictable, as you've just seen. All right, so what you're seeing is fire. It's actually fire. It's fire from a smoke, and I suspect it's got something to do with the tire we saw earlier. But look to your right-hand side, Kathy. There's another big fire flaming at the bottom there. We're not quite sure what that is. You know, it could be anything, but there's another tire there, and someone says it could be other tires as well. We've also received word that police are likely to dispatch a water cannon. As I said earlier, those missiles continue to come over, so we have to be really careful in the way we engage with the story as well, because you know it is dangerous. The threat is real, essentially, insofar as what's coming over the fence. But as I said, police keeping a watchful eye, and it really is a completely unpredictable situation. Kathy, I don't think that I caught the last part of your question, but what I can say is that in order, you know, my suspicion is, based on what I've heard from the students, that somebody needs to come down and talk to the kids and let them know what the program of action is, and so far as the engagement and the feedback is concerned. I told you about the ultimatum. 1:30 was the deadline. Some of the students here near the front of the fence are saying is until when they will be patient. Beyond 1:30, they are going to bring that fence down. So we've heard that from, you know, some students. We don't know if that's the sentiment from the crowd at large. And also it does contrast quite starkly, doesn't it, Kathy, with the level of protest we've seen on campuses like Wits, where there's been a strong emphasis on, on not destroying property and on keeping everything really disciplined. We saw the cheers, alongside the streets in the CBD when that protest dissipated for people who had, were supporting the crowds. And again, that advice from that 1976 the student protest leaders who said, he is proud of the students, but if they get involved in actions that perhaps destroy property or are a threat to life, they will start to lose some of the goodwill and the momentum. I don't know if that's the case or if people understand, the level of frustration here, but those certainly are the mixed narratives. If a face can say anything, I mean, I don't know if you can, if I'm an expert on facial recognition, but just the demeanor seems to be calm. They're really standing back, as I said. We've seen a few police with riot gear now approach, and they are here. But for all intents and purposes, employment plans and the enforcement plans, as we heard a short while ago, are enacted insofar as the water cannon is concerned. I don't know what effect that will have on the crowd. But again, restless, unpredictable, calm, then restless again. So it really is a fluid story. And we constantly watch that fence for missiles coming over. Were you guys assembled at Burger Park, and where did you come from?
From TUT, University of Technology.
From TUT, you came straight here.
We came to strike. We want Blade must fall. Yesterday he said students must fall. Today is the one who's supposed to fall.
So why do you want to come inside?
We want Blade himself. We want Blade now. Let them come Blade.
Let's take you to another point in the fence, Kathy. I want our camera to show you just how precarious this fence is. It might actually come down. Again, let's talk about what students want. Some are calling for calm. Some are saying open the gate. Let's hear from students.
We want these gates open now. We want to come in. We are here to address the president. They must open.
You want to go straight up to the Union building to talk to the president?
You want to see president face to face now. They must open this gate.
Open this gate now.
You know that he is going to address students from that podium up there. You're not prepared to wait.
Yeah, we are not prepared to wait. We wait for long. Now it's time to analyze.
What campus are you from?
We are tired of
TUT, VETS,
We are tired of dialogue.
Another one says he's tired of dialogue.
We are tired of dialogue. Zuma must implement a policy that will say that we do not pay our tuition fees. We are saying that we are tired of dialogue. We are tired of fighting. We want changes, and changes must come now.
So at last, here's the emissary that the students were hoping for. It'll be interesting to see their reaction to him. But what you're seeing is the State Security Minister getting ready. He's just under that board, that sort of television screen that you're looking at, in the red tie, and he's expected to address the group. Let me just gauge, if I can, the reaction of the crowd. Very quiet, I suppose, and expectant, waiting to hear what's to be said. The smell of smoke, I can tell you, and burning rubber is also very strong in the air now, as the consequence of those two fires starts to make its presence felt. Here we go, the State Security Minister, David Mahlobo.
Comrades, Amandla, comrades, the president is going to address you. Your student representatives are now presenting your grievances to the president. Now the president is going to come out and address you on the way forward. We are trying to find an amicable solution to the problem. Please be patient, and please, comrades, please be patient. We are trying to find a solution. Please, there will be a way forward. give us some bit of time and allow your student representatives
Or not remains to be seen. I'll go down and ask those students one more time. But again, completely fluid, unpredictable situation. Told by the officials that are leading the police operation here to really step back because the situation is unpredictable. You saw the rocks come over and you saw the various missiles. But as I was saying earlier on, not a warm welcome for the State Security Minister. And there is a sense, still that the President needs to come down. From some of the students we spoke to, they want to hear from him. They say that they're tired of waiting. As I said, it certainly wasn't a warm welcome. Again, the truck that he was addressing students from was pelted by missiles. Some were rocks, some were stones, some were bottles of water. People didn't really want to hear from him. They said earlier to us they want to hear from the President directly. They want an update in the talks. The State Security Minister saying that moment will come, that they have to be patient. The talks are ongoing, and certainly as promised, the President will address them. Let's give you a sense now, again, visually of the police response to all of this, and you can see them in their right gear, ready for any eventuality. 2 spots still burning. In fact, the second one seems to we know that their officials were here on the scene earlier, but the one just in front of us, where our cameras are focused on now, continues to burn. But I must stress, Kathy, even from my vantage point, which is not really an aerial point of view, it seems to be a small pocket of really agitated students. By and large, along the periphery, they seem to be calm. They're either dancing and chanting, but no one really focused on the fence as this particular group of students. Completely unpredictable, and here we go. The moment you talk about seems to be manifesting. Captain Police are now converging on that portion of fence that they're trying to open. They're widening the gap. The missiles are coming over the fence as we speak. Some of them rocks, some of them bottles. Anything can happen. again, Kathy, you know, it's something that I cannot do with any level of authority. I mean, all we have is what, you know, the kinds of T-shirts that students are wearing. Some are yellow, some are red, you know, some are green, some are blue. And there are these kind of really different groups all together, all meshed together. I mean, you saw the big numbers. So, you know, you'll see pockets of yellow sweaters together. You'll see pockets of red ones together, pockets of blue. But, you know, you can't say with any intelligence exactly what the proportionate representation of students are from the various formations. Needless to say, earlier this week, what they wanted was for everyone to know that this was a general student protest. That this was a protest across the political formations. It was not party political. Students are united. They are one insofar as this protest action is concerned. It seems to really be the narrative that continues right now. We're at the front line, so to speak, for want of a better word. You see the riot police engaged. You see the hole in the fence. We can hear some of the students here saying, you know, enough, we've had enough. And again, it's unpredictable.
When we want to talk to you, bring the police. Why? Why are you bringing the police? We don't want 6%. We don't want 6%. We want 0%. We want 0%. We are adding nothing. We want 0%. We want Zuma here. We want 0%. Yeah, we want Zuma here. We want Zuma. Whether you like it or not. Hey, we don't want Arab Americana here. We want the
A little bit earlier on, and as you mentioned, it doesn't seem like there's you know, any great will at this particular point to come all the way across. Of course, the riot police are kitted up. They are standing right here ready to respond, and we're not sure what that response is going to be like. We've spoken to some of the students again along the wall who say, really, we want the president to talk to us. We don't want to hear from state officials. We want the president to talk to us. So that demand remains on the table, certainly by, you know, the students that we've spoken to. And again, it's very hard to gauge a sense from the greater crowd because we simply don't have access to them. All we have are, the points of view of those closest to the fence. But the situation completely, unpredictable. One doesn't know which way it's going to go. Yes, I got you. Yes.
That's ours. You're not an A. What are you doing? Guys, don't do that. We can't broadcast. We can't broadcast if you do that. We can't broadcast if you do that.
We can talk. Why don't we talk to you students? Don't you want to talk? Let's talk to you guys. Talk to you guys. Do you guys want to talk to us? Talk to us. Assembled at Burger Park, and where did you come from?
From TUT. University of Technology.
From TUT. You came straight here.
We came to strike. We want Blade must fall. Yesterday he said students must fall. Today is the one who's supposed to fall.
So why do you want to come inside?
We want Blade himself. We want Blade now. Let them come Blade.
Let's take you to another point in the fence, Kathy. I want our camera to show you just how precarious this fence is. It might actually come down. Again, let's talk about what students want. Some are calling for calm. Some are saying open the gate. Let's hear from students.
We want these gates open now. We want to come in. We are here to address the president. They must open.
You want to go straight up to the Union building to talk to the president?
We want to see president face to face now. They must open this gate. Open this gate now.
You know that he is going to address students from that podium up there. You're not prepared to wait.
Yeah, we are not prepared to wait. We wait so long. Now it's time to finalize.
What campus are you from?
We are tired of TUT, VETS. We are tired of dialogue.
Another one says he's tired of dialogue.
We are tired of dialogue. Zuma must implement a policy that will say that we do not pay our tuition fees. We are saying that we are tired of dialogue. We are tired of fighting. fighting. We want changes, and changes must come now.
The phone to you. You can speak. Speak, Iman.
All right, it is very unpredictable, as you can see from the pictures. Some of the students breached the gate. The cops then responded. The riot police responded. They've pushed them back. Sentiment does seem to be turning. I mean, we tried again to talk to the students. They gathered our cables up, and they seem to be a little distrustful at this point of the media here. So again, unpredictable situation. Not quite sure how things are going to unfold, but that group that did try to breach the fence were pushed back, and we see they've come back under again. Couple of days. You would see massive plumes of smoke now as the fire here gathers momentum. I'm not sure what's been added to, because we've also been advised to keep a sensible and a safe distance from all of this. I think the cautionary note in all of this, Kathy, is that we're watching just one pixel of this big photograph of protest. And a lot of the students perhaps will say, well, this is not all students. This is one pocket of students that feel really strongly about something. They're fed up, they're frustrated, they want to come across. By and large, if you look along the fence, quite a large number, I would say the majority of students, are not a part of this contingent that really wants to come through, but it's moving all the time. And I think what our viewers have to bear in mind is that we're telling portions of the story. Each of our journalists and reporters, depending on where they are deployed, telling portions of the story, and so it cannot by any means be regarded as the definitive picture. Again, can't really hear you that well because the audio levels here are very loud. We've asked some of the students to express what they're feeling. Let's just get another little sense of what the students are feeling. Go ahead.
We want this to be down. Blade Zimande must answer, and we want Jacob Zuma here. Zuma must answer. We want 0%. We don't want 6%. We want 0%.
Do you also, look, there are some students there that have broken a part of the fence. They want to come through to on this side.
They are fighting for their rights. They are fighting for their rights.
We want a non-violent protest. This is supposed to be a non-violent protest.
They are fighting for their rights.
We just want the government to address us.
We've been waiting so long for him to address
People
us,
are
but nothing is
frustrated because the
happening.
government doesn't address us.
And us as the
how did the meeting go? We want to know. How did the meeting go?
All right, let's take you here to this situation that's developing. Again, some more of the students tried to come through. Police are pushing them back. Some students saying they want a non-violent protest. Whether this particular theme catches on, again, is only a matter of time. But the levels of aggression are, seem to be escalating, especially insofar as that portion is concerned. Again, Kathy, because our communication comes and goes, I'm just going to assume again that you're passing to me. Here's someone else, part of the protesters. A lot of them are calling for the president to come down and talk to them. Let's hear what this young man has to say.
Hello, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm sure you didn't just call me to say hello.
Yeah.
What are you up to? What's your sense of the way things are going right now?
I'm thinking the president is taking long inside there, so they are impatient. They just want to speak to the president.
Okay, look on this side of the wall. That side of the wall seems like it's going to come down. We did come to you. I know that you said that you want the president to come down and talk to you guys.
Yes, we want the president to come here and come to us. He knows that they've promised us since 1994 that tuition, which is free for all of us. This is what we want. We don't need 6%. We want free education. That's why we're protesting here. It's because we want economic freedom of our lifetime.
We are here for free education, not 0%, not 6%.
So when they say inside that the talk is about 0% now and we'll think about the long term.
We want free education now. Completely. This rhetoric that we cannot afford free education under current circumstances is rubbish, is utter rubbish. Many countries achieve free education. We want free education now, not in future, now.
Be careful. So there's a call, Kathy, for some students on this side of the fence, for the others to come through. Again, one doesn't know what is going to happen. Situation really just very fluid right now.
We've been fighting, we want free education. And we want I want the president to come and talk to us. I'm not going to leave.
Call the president.
Where is the president?
We want President Zuma.
Where is the president? We want the president. Where is the president?
We want him now. I'm owing
She's
close
owing.
to 100,000 because of Jacob Zuma. We want him. We want him.
No, don't be the president.
Kathy, just to let you know, we
I think the president is taking long. These guys here, they've been waiting for too long.
That's right.
I was gonna go, you guys.
You can go, it's fine. It's like
It's simple. You are now you're scared.
I'm gonna try to get myself I was gonna go, you guys.
You can go, it's fine. It's like
It's simple. You are now you're scared.
I'm gonna try to get myself I was gonna go, you guys.
You can go, it's fine. It's like
It's simple. You are now you're scared.
they must come straight now. God might actually come down. Or at least, injured by some of the missiles coming over the fence. So far, just absolutely not. We want to get through. We want to engage directly with the president. So I'm not sure how this is going to unfold. Again, I want to focus on this area, but When we got here in the morning, Kathy, there were about 20 police vehicles on the side of the street. And one of the observations, and one of the things that's been spoken about a lot, is whether they will be capacitated to deal above police helicopter. And more students are heading towards this section of fence.
I was saying she can hear you.
I can hear right now. Right now, guys, now. Hello? Some of the chanting and what they're saying. All right, I'd rather show you than tell you, Kathy, so let's just show you what's happening. These are the gates on the South Lawns. This gate is all that stands between the South Lawns and direct access.
You need to be to get a much better view. I'll pull the PPS. Let's go. Where am I going? To the toilet. To the corner. Careful. Let's go. Go, 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 go. You can get the lens out. Is there sound there? Not sure. Matiba! Okay, that's highly
They can come to me. I've got it now.
Eh?
I've got it. They can come to me.
You can speak. She's got the mic now. You don't have to dial anymore. Iman can speak. You don't have to dial anymore.
Iman on the mic.
I don't care if it's toilet water.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's using my ear so I'm hearing you. No, just one.
Okay.
Yeah, and when you saw that happen, Kathy, really a sense of concern that, you know, no one gets caught up, run over, falling off that truck as you watched it, you know, tear across the field at the bottom. You know, in the front line, just here where we're showing you a picture now where the fence has been breached, you will see earlier on, a few moments ago, and you might have had picture of that, might have had sight of those visuals, some of the other students coming around and saying, you know, chanting peace, 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 but they were quickly shut down. It's, you don't get a sense, certainly from my perspective, and I don't know what Bongi and the other reporters are saying, but from my perspective, that there is one person that's leading the group right now insofar as what we're seeing here, dictating the movement of students insofar as whether to move ahead or to retreat. So we haven't seen anyone either on a loud hailer from my position say, you know, students, here's the plan of action and this is what we need to do. All we continue to hear and see are, you know, the missiles and rocks being thrown at the riot police. There's a bank of them on either side of our position right now. And you know, it's unfortunate we've also had to take cover, but it is quite dangerous where we're standing. There are large rocks coming over the fence and, you know, all sorts of missiles and so on. So, you know, the situation is volatile, it is unstable. Yeah. Again, not the greatest reception, but the State Security Minister came down. You're hearing, of course, some stun grenades being set off. David Mahlobo coming down. Not a great reception, perhaps a little frosty, even borderline hostile reception from the students. They don't want to hear from anyone else but the president. They want to hear that there is a resolution. They want to hear that there is a way forward. And so that demand remains for someone to come down, in fact, not just anyone to come down, for the president himself to come down. I'm not sure insofar as, you know, security requirements are concerned whether the president's security detail will allow that because of the breach in the fence and, you know, the unpredictability of what might happen. But it seems, just judging from the people we spoke to, that that might be, the only thing that they want to hear right now is what the president has to say. Again, if I just go on a pure poll, demeanor poll, they seem to be calm. They seem to be standing back. Of course, we saw the water cannon being deployed. We're seeing stun grenades, being set off at various points. I'm not sure whether there's a plan to escalate that, but they certainly seem to be, well, for want of a better word, cautiously vigilant. And that's really all I can say about the police response. But what's happening, and again, just judging purely by the picture and the vantage point we have, which is not the entire full picture, is that every time a stun grenade goes off, or every time there is some kind of response to the crowd and the stone throwing, it seems to really, rile them up and fire them up again. And so there are these waves of aggression, and then waves of passivity, and then waves of aggression again. If this is, again, going to be a test of the executive leadership and so on, they, I suppose, to paraphrase the students, are going to have to do a bit better than what they've seen. Bear in mind, it's several hours on. I'm sure the heat and the dehydration must also be playing a role in the level of tension. Anything, it seems, Kathy, judging by where the targets land. Some of them are targeted against the truck that is to the left of our position. And some of the lights were shot out by or busted by the rocks that were coming over, and that seems to be taking a bit of their attention insofar as where they're directing these missiles. Others seem to be at the police themselves, and in just a few faces that you observe, a real sense of nothing to lose. Here we are, we're making a stand, we are going to do this come what may. So that level of, convicted defiance, if I can put it that way, seems to be, the overriding emotion that characterizes particularly those that I've noticed, who have been throwing stuff. It's interesting also, as I mentioned earlier, just a level of hostility towards the media, perhaps. I mean, we're stationed on this side so we can give the other perspective of what's going on. I'm not sure if that's creating the impression that, we're taking a side in all of this. It's very difficult, to be able to maintain the lines of communication. We've gone back to the fence several times to gauge sentiment, to find out where they're at now in terms of what they want, what the demands are, what their frustration levels are, what will sort of resolve the situation insofar as the tension is concerned right now. And some are receptive to conversation, and others are overtly hostile. I imagine then, Kathy, that it's that it's understandable, especially given the days that have passed. I mean, we're into day 9 or so of these protests, and there is a level of frustration. From some of the people we spoke to along the fence, that seemed to have been the notion, that there would have been this prior discussion. Of course, there was going to be a discussion that was promised today with the VCs, the student formations, and members of the executive that was going to take place today. And then there was going to be a feedback session, to the students. Judging from the statement that the president put out this morning, it seemed to be more of a listening exercise. To gauge what all the sides are feeling. And really the expectation from those we've spoken to is, a paper decision, an agreement in hand, a promise which was possibly alluded to by the SG, Gwede Mantashe, last night, when he said that whatever happens, we're going to come away from this with a solution. It's that solution they're interested in. And mind you, not just any solution, a solution that says a freeze on fees, a moratorium on fees, and a long-term view to free education for all. Others, again, in fresh developments this morning have said, away with the moratorium itself, away with the freezing of a hike. We want free education right now. again, it depends on who you speak to and whether this is the view of the collective student leadership and the collective student body. Again, is something else. I can't show you a picture of this, but the Gauteng Police Commissioner, I'm told, is now heading towards the area where we are. And I imagine to get a visual operational update on what's happening here on the ground. We will try and see if we can get into an interview with him. But for now, that's how the situation remains, Kathy. Police have been deployed, that they're maintaining a distance, and the situation, as I keep saying, and I know that people are going to get bored of this word, but unpredictable. Again, it's very hard to find out who belongs where. If you're going to do that purely based on T-shirts, it will be hard. It will be hard to make a proper, intelligent, and more importantly, accurate assessment of that. All of the groups kind of intermingle and move away. They're in a collective and then they're dispersed. So it's it depends on who happens to be in a particular position. I mentioned earlier, large portions of the group, particularly those around the trees, were calm. Some were sitting down. Some others were marching around the lawns themselves, around the south lawns. They were, in fact, not just marching, sort of a short run. And then yet others were focused on this fence, wanting to tear it down. Once that happened, we didn't see a mass of students charge across to get across this area towards the Union Building. So perhaps it was just it was a threat of this is kind of what we're contemplating and this is what we're thinking about, but it didn't actually follow through by way of a mass of students coming across. I know that some students did try, but the invitation wasn't bought by some of the others. So by and large, there seems to be a collective consensus that we'll stay on that side. We'll stay on that side of the fence, despite the fact that we've torn it down.
Do you have a picture of the police? There's a picture of the police trying to protect the commissioner.
Yeah. Yeah, we did query the uniform earlier on, and we were told that's the VIP protection unit. The situation it's fairly dangerous out here where we're standing, Kathy, because the rocks that are coming across, they're quite substantial. We saw, one of the other journalists get hit on the head, and, he was bleeding profusely. I'm not sure what the extent of his injuries are. Has been taken away, but I think all journalists realize that that's par for the course, being in a situation like this. But there is a very real threat. We've seen bricks come over, like whole bricks come over. And take out, not take out necessarily, but really hit some of the police officers in their right gear. And them, retreating and advancing. So what's coming over the fence from students is, does pose a serious threat. I'm right behind our cameraman, so we're less than 10 meters away from, and look, my maths is not the greatest, pardon me. I remember a politician a while ago making jokes about journalists and their ability to count, but several meters, let's say that, from where you see the Gauteng Police Commissioner. And sorry to be startled like that, but even though we've been surrounded by the sound of stun grenades all morning, every time it happens, it really is quite a loud sound, and it's quite jarring, so pardon me for that. But we're a few meters away from where the Gauteng Police Commissioner is, and it seems like he's taking some kind of a briefing, because some of those police officers talking to him were involved in the deployment effort a little bit earlier on. So they were commissioning extra troops or forces or police personnel to come down here, and it seems like they are now briefing the Gauteng Police Commissioner. He's on his phone. I'm not sure what that call would be about, but if he's looking, here as a fairly senior member of government, he, would probably want to consider that there has to be something else that happens insofar as who interacts with these students, because they are restless. You can see the rocks coming over. We don't know whether that, will escalate or whether it will die down, whether it will give way to, a new wave of students doing the same, or whether, leadership on the ground, on the South Lawns, will take collective control of the situation and perhaps issue some direction as to what's going to happen next. But from where we're standing, something has got to give. Something new has to happen. We mentioned this morning, the various marches that have had their culmination here at the Union buildings, most prolific among them, the pass laws of 1956, the 9th of August, when those 20,000 women descended on the Union buildings, making their stand against the pass laws. Again, in 2015, this is the site of education protests in South Africa. We spoke extensively about how this is a defining moment, and a lot of analysts have weighed in on that debate, a defining moment for South Africa and South Africa's history. When we look at the way various incidents in our history were recorded and, who was caught on the wrong side of that history, that is certainly a philosophical equation the ANC government would want to be on the right side of. They have to manage this in a way that is effective, that shows leadership, that shows an ability to listen. I mean, that was one of the biggest calls by students yesterday, that not only must the leadership and all of those stakeholders listen to the demands or hear the demands of students, but they must also listen. And that listening would be manifest in an implementation of education reform in South Africa, both substantively and quantitatively. So, the struggles of the various South African families that we've spoken about extensively over the last couple of days are taken into cognizance. Intergenerational poverty, intergenerational debt. These are still the big issues, and one hopes that the events of today in some ways don't eclipse the bigger debate and the bigger demand for an equitable education system that gives all South Africans access to education.
I just got hit as well. Wait, watch out. You okay? More coming. There's a spring.
Again, in terms of the operational response from a police point of view, and pardon us, I mean, our cameraman just been struck in the face by a flying rock. So I'm just making sure that he's okay. You okay? Okay, he's fine. Let's move on. We're not sure, barring the presence of the Gauteng Police Commissioner, who else from an executive or police executive will be here. And effectively, Kathy, where the buck stops insofar as decision making is concerned. We know that was the whole debacle around Marikana. We know that's why there's an investigation that's going to be underway into how things went down, who made the various calls, the meetings that were held, the preparation that was done, the intelligence that was gathered around that to come up with the perfect response, and they failed on that score, which is why there's this investigation. I'm sure that in 2015, and perhaps this has got nothing to do with anything, but it is a pre-election year. No, the ANC has been one to say that this is not about elections, this is about policy and about the party's commitment to its promises. But it is a pre-election year, and they will be scrutinized very harshly on their response here today. We've seen, I'm not sure where the Gauteng Police Commissioner has he's come back now, again with some of his peers, and they're pointing towards the scene where students are. Who is going to take the responsibility? If something goes wrong here, who takes responsibility? And for all intents and purposes, if it continues the way it has, something's going to give, and the police response will be scrutinized very closely in the aftermath of that. And again, and that's why for all of our viewers, it's really, there really has to be an appreciation that, each of the reporters that are deployed in the various centers, in fact, for all the media that is present here today, you only give the perspective of where that person is because it's what you're seeing unfolding and so on. And by no means is the entire tapestry of the story. That together, all of these stories come together and they give you a sort of consistent narrative. So insofar as who's leading it, again, we're huddled behind a truck because, as I said, the missiles are, they can do some damage, and we don't want to be silly and risk ourselves and, kind of lose focus on what's happening here and what the real story needs to be. So we're, from on one point of view, hiding behind a truck, peeping, trying to see what's happening. And so, who's leading various, for want of a better word, the push forward towards the union buildings through the fence, we can't say definitively. There are many students wearing many T-shirts, and sometimes, as it happens, it doesn't mean if somebody's wearing a particular T-shirt that is necessarily the group that represents them. So I think it would be perhaps a little bit dangerous to make an assessment based on the apparel of certain students, and we'd have to really talk to them. But as I said, the line of communication at this point seems to be a little bit compromised because there is this standoffish kind of nature. Some of the students continue to pelt and the police continue to watch, and we're sort of in the middle between the two of those. Well, this is the other thing as well, and so something's happening.
Stealing a tripod.
Someone's just stolen one of the tripods, I think, made off into the crowd. I'm not sure if they're going to be made to bring that back. Again, this could be interpreted in so many different ways. Some of our property, because a lot of the media contingents here kind of left their stuff behind and ran when everything went a little bit haywire. But some other students are saying, no, give it back, and you can see that tripod being sent back. So I don't know whether that's just an expression of frustration. Let's do something different. Things, and that's why I say I keep making the point that something has got to give, Kathy. This situation as it stands, can go in any direction. And perhaps those meetings that are happening there, again, it's about what's called for in a fluid situation like this. Should someone in leadership come down again? Should the president come down? And again, I don't know if they would make that allowance because of the security situation being so unstable and unsure at this moment. Yeah. And we've seen that happen consistently over the last couple of days. Various political stalwarts saying that they're so proud of what these students are doing, that this is a defining moment in so many ways in South Africa's history. And, as I observed earlier this morning, it's never going to go back to business as usual. In some ways, my thinking is that South African society has been forever changed. The question is how changed, who's changed, what will change? And those are the questions that have to be answered over the next couple of days. And I wonder if it isn't time. I mean, for all of these people that perhaps also have been spirit guides to the movement, to Ahmed Kathrada's, Winnie Mandela's and so on, and even those who aren't among us anymore, Solomon Mahlangu, whether if, some of the political leaders that are still alive who were present during the struggle came down and addressed the students, maybe that would temper the emotions. But as you point out, depending on where you look and what your vantage point is, the story could be anything. Our cameras down on the field say, it's relatively calm. Students are organized. Where we are, it's a very different picture to that. There's a level of volatility, there's a level of violence, there's a level of frustration. So today is a story about many things. It's about many things insofar as the protest is concerned, and it's about many things insofar as leadership and governance are concerned. Yeah. I think, someone needs to put in a text message to Niklas Bauer, who is at the heart of those discussions, or at least somewhere, better approximates it than we are out here in the field, to find out what a status update is in the progress in those talks, what's being discussed, when there's likely to be some feedback, when there's likely to be a news conference. We are literally shut down insofar as our information is concerned, because I keep talking to you, of course, and we keep watching, how best to protect ourselves and also how best to report on the story as accurately and as fairly as possible. So, in as much as the students that we're talking to you about are in the dark, so are we. I think it's safe to say for a number of media here, not quite sure what's happening up on the hill. I see the steps coming down from the truck. I'm not sure if that's in preparation for someone to talk to them, but I don't see any officials here, aside from the Gauteng Police Commissioner. But, something's got to give again. I know I'm gonna probably frustrate a lot of you in the office with the well-worn out cliches, but really, how many words do you need to sum all of this up? It is a day that's going to go down in history, whichever way it turns out. And you can see, we're showing you a picture now of some of those students coming across singing Senzeni Na. And Riot Police are moving in. We'll try and get a little bit closer as well to see what's happening and whether we can actually just get a status update from the students themselves about what they're feeling, what they're thinking. I think that is pepper spray that's now being sprayed on the students there. Certainly seems to be the case, and they've now retreated again beyond that fence, but the missiles keep coming over the wall.
Okay, we need to move closer.
No, you won't, because this cable goes this.
Guys, also, what are working?
Yeah. I don't know why we Move!
We need to go around.
Shall we go there?
Yeah, but we need to go because the cable is being
Okay, let's do it.
Are they still on us? Are they still on us?
Yeah, let's just stay here. This is the safest point. This is the safest point, guys.
Yeah, let's not move. I think if you want another shot, you can use this. It's much better. Come on. This is safer for everyone. No? Sure, go in.
Let me come down. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got so much break. I've got to find it.
Seriously, be careful. Coming from like all sides. What?
Ask him to get off so we can go around us.
Okay. Ask him to get off him so we can go around. Take a new picture.
Are you with Ama Creators? Yeah.
You guys alright?
Yeah.
Strong. About 20 seconds, about a minute.
Okay, cool. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna come out of this.
Off us?
Yeah, office. You can move.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
On that side. Oh, wait.
But are we gonna be safe?
I doubt it. I think this is the best.
I think
This is the best.
This is the best.
Yeah.
Best, yeah. So you shouldn't move.
And this is also the hot point. I'm just
Yeah, no.
worried, you know?
Let's not move. This side is safe.
Go this side.
Nah, it's much
It's
safer.
fine. They've got 2 more cameras on the field.
Yeah, let's use this one.
Do you want to talk to some of the students? I think that's what's missing is talking to the kids. It's so dangerous, man.
It is. That's the thing with buses. Yeah, let's just be careful. So what about Let's go and shoot you over here.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Yeah. Aisha? Okay. Let me get you more slack. I don't know why.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Why are they getting this thing?
Again, Kathy, and sorry, we've just fallen off our point because I think that we have been hit. Just hold on a second. We're just going to take cover quickly. As Angela was pointing out, Kathy, you know, if we judge the support for what's happening vis-a-vis the police and, you know, the students that are throwing stones and trying to, you know, push through, it seems to be a small percentage of the students, because there's an attempt towards the left of our side, probably the right of your screen, to bring one of the fences down, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of physical support insofar as, you know, the other students standing nearby to support that process. It seems to be just a handful of students that want to bring it down. I'm just going to move out of the way. Move. Yeah, you know, it seems to be a handful of students that are focused on that objective. And had it been, you know, a consensus objective, perhaps we'd have seen more and more students, you know, support that. But again, it seems to be pockets of students here and there from where we're standing. Again, that's the disclaimers. We can only tell you what we're seeing from our perspective, that it seems to be a few small pockets of students, not the mass and not the collective of students as a whole. Okay. Sorry, we've just, again, you can hear probably the things that you're hearing, the loud bangs near us are the sound of rocks hitting this outdoor sort of, you know. Oh, we got to get out.
We're gonna have to go.
I don't know where to go.
Come here. Move. Let's go. Easy. Party. Unplug it. It won't come. It won't come. Are you okay?
Stop going here.
Let's go. Lift them up. Did you get that?
Can you, I don't know how you're gonna try. This like cable goes up.
Were you guys assembled at Burger Park, and where did you come from?
From TUT. University of Technology.
From TUT. You came straight here.
We came to strike. We want Blade must fall. Yesterday he said students must fall. Today is the one who's supposed to fall.
So why do you want to come inside?
We want Blade himself. We want Blade now. Let them come Blade.
Let's take you to another point in the fence, Kathy. I want our camera to show you just how precarious this fence is. It might actually come down. Again, let's talk about what students want. Some are calling for calm. Some are saying open the gate. Let's hear from students.
We want these gates open now. We want to come in. We are here to address the president. They must open.
You want to go straight up to the Union building to talk to the president?
You want to see president. They must open this gate. Open this gate now.
You know that he is going to address students from that podium up there. You're not prepared to wait.
Yeah, we are not prepared to wait. We wait so long. Now it's time to finalize.
What campus are you from?
We are tired of TUT, VETS. We are tired of dialogue.
Another one says he's tired of dialogue.
We are tired of dialogue. Zuma must implement a policy that will say that we do not pay our tuition fees. We are saying that we are tired of dialogue. We are tired of fighting. We want changes, and changes must come now.
I was gonna go. You guys.
You can go. It's fine. It's like how you did it.
You are now you're scared.
I'm going to try to give myself a few
I was gonna go. You guys.
You can go. It's fine. It's like how you did it.
You are now you're scared.
They must come straight now. God might actually come down. Or at least, injured by some of the missiles coming over the fence. So far, just absolutely not. We want to get through. We want to engage directly with the president. So I'm not sure how this is going to unfold. Again, I want to focus on this area, but when we got here in the morning, Kathy, there were about 20 police vehicles on the side of the street. And one of the observations, and one of the things that's been spoken about a lot, is whether they will be capacitated to deal above police helicopter, and more students are heading towards this section of fence.
I was saying she can hear you.
I can hear Red Market. Right now, guys, now. Hello? Some of the chanting and what they're saying. All right, I'd rather show you than tell you, Kathy, so let's just show you what's happening. These are the gates on the South Lawns. This gate is all that stands between the South Lawns and direct access.
here outside the National Assembly at the moment. Well, there are at least 3 public entrances to the parliamentary precinct. The majority of where visitors enter would be through the Plain Street entrance. But it appears that these students have come through the entrance just off Spin Street into Parliamentary Lane, and they've broken through the barricade there through Parliament and now made their way to the steps of the National Assembly. As you can see, public order police are trying to keep students at bay here. They've done riot here and they are now trying to push them away from the door of the National Assembly. We do understand that VIP protection services are inside the building. They've barricaded that. There are plenty of government ministers here, including senior government representatives and including MPs inside. So again, extraordinary pictures playing outside here in the National Assembly. If I can ask Nina cameraman to point there down towards Plain Street, it appears that the floodgates have opened where another gate of Parliament has now been broken through, and students are now making their way en masse to the steps of the National Assembly. Michelle, we're seeing a move here by riot police, by public order police trying to push students off. Where we have water bottles being thrown at police. We are following our cameras quite carefully here. We're following police quite carefully here as public order police trying to push students back there. Some of them are now sitting down. They say that they are sitting down. They are not resisting, and that they say that they are peacefully sitting down. It's going to make police's efforts to create some order here and get them out of the parliamentary precinct a little more difficult. As you can see, these students or protesters are pretty energized here. It is, one would say, an historic moment here with the gates of Parliament and the barricades and the security of Parliament having fallen in such a way in such a quick time. Just about a half an hour ago, many of these students were outside. We have a situation here with bottles and stun grenades have now just gone off. There are missiles being thrown, more stun grenades going off. Many of the students now running out to the entrances. Arrests taking place as police try to get control of the situation. Quite chaotic scenes here outside the National Assembly. You can't do this! You can't fucking do this! What have you done? Michelle, one of students arrested, they're now tussling with police. There's some sort of arrest being taken place. More flashbangs are being heard elsewhere on the parliamentary precinct.
The moment realized that this protest might just get a bit out of hand was at the Burgers Park this morning, when the groups could not agree as to who is going to the union buildings and what time exactly. The leaders were not present at that moment, and we saw students arguing amongst themselves, saying that they want to march now to the union buildings, whereas the other ones were saying, can we wait for our leaders? And there was a split at that very moment, which saw scores of students in their thousands making their way to the union buildings, while others remained at Burgers Park. And as they remained at Burgers Park, they were waiting for more buses to arrive. And when these students that had moved, the first group that had moved, made their way here, we understand that there was quite a lot of tension, a lot of clashes between them and police officers. And what you're seeing right now are some of the students saying that they're now just, some of them that have been here on the streets have been telling us that they're tired. They just see if they don't think that a solution or an address is going to come today, while others have been very hopeful, saying that they will wait it out. They're going to wait, and hopefully this is going to be the beginning process of the discussion around all the other issues that are plaguing institutions of higher learning, issues like lack of transformation in terms of the staff members at universities, issues around the curriculum itself, due to that a lot of people have been saying are quite problematic, issues around fees, due to which a lot of students have been saying it is a way in which the management uses in order for them to be excluded from the system. And quite a lot of that has been happening, and a lot of students have made their way onto the road right now as they start singing behind us. And there's also still some of those who are left inside and not very far from the mobile toilets that we saw burning a whole lot, in fact, earlier on. And then that can be expected, definitely can be expected. The Wits SRC has been very much vocal in saying that they need to make sure that they stay safe. They need to make sure that this protest does not degenerate. They need to make sure that whatever is done here is done in a peaceful manner. And that is something that has been said all the time. And when you look at what has been happening at Wits, you can definitely see that this is a call that has been, been made by the leaders throughout the protest.
Peace must fall! 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 Peace must fall!
Well, Dan, what we know is that there has been various groups. There has been various sporadic incidences that have happened. Even the burning of the mobile toilets themselves. We then saw, just a group doing that, and another group grabbing what looked like a trailer or remains of a car with tires, and they were trying to burn them. So it's definitely, just groups, various groups in different spots that would be then, police would then chase them, police would then try and restore calm in those particular instances. And what has been happening is that on the road as well, there have been people that have, just remained on the side of the road, sitting quietly, hoping that there could be some sort of answer that comes from inside. And there was, when we got here, an official or someone on a loud hailer begging the students to be patient, asking that they bear with the process, and they're going to be coming out and addressing them. And a whole lot of students were not seemingly receiving that moment, that message with warmth. They were rejecting it and saying that they're demanding that whoever needs to address them, especially the president, must come out and address them. But what I'm going to do now is just to speak to one or two of them and find out what exactly needs to happen. Firstly, let's start here. I know that you're still waiting, you're still hoping for a resolution. What has been your view and what do you make of this protest so far and how it has degenerated?
You see, this thing was supposed to be, the president was supposed to address the students to come down first. Right now, there's no one who's controlling the students. Everyone is just doing as they please, and this is bad for everyone. I mean, they were throwing tear gas, there's a helicopter throwing tear gas. Students are being harmed. It's like 1976, it's like Marikana, it's like we are dying all over again.
Now, if I can just ask, some of your counterparts have been burning mobile toilets. We've been seeing tires burning. We've been seeing quite a lot of what the leaders have been calling on students not to do, because leaders have been saying that this march needs to be peaceful. What do you have to say to some of your counterparts that have contributed to what we're seeing behind us?
The problem is that it's individual actions. It's only individual people who are fueled up by the crowds. That's why we end up throwing stones, bottles and whatever. Fees must fall. That's just what we are asking for. Nothing else, nothing more. Blade must not fall. Fees must fall. They can either sell Nkandla to repay the fees for us or something. Please make a plan. My mom doesn't work. My father passed away. I'm an orphan. Who is supporting me? Who is paying my fees? I have to pay transport. I use this road daily to go to school. I have to pay transport. Should I go and kill someone? Should I go and rob someone to have a chance to get education? Okay. That's not fair.
I'll leave it there with you. Sissy, first of all, let's talk about your perceptions of this protest so far.
I think it's absolutely revolting what the police did, because the very same policemen who are shooting at us, their children are part of these crowds.
Exactly.
And it's so unfair. What we did out there, burning tires and burning toilets, it was unjustifiable. But you must understand that as a black child, your anger goes out of so much control that you end up doing anything just to get that attention. Out there, we didn't get the attention that we want. We didn't get the attention that we deserve. We want answers.
From who?
We want answers. From
who must give you answers?
The minister and the president. We want to know, what is this? What's going on? Because the minister himself, as a revolutionary, he understands the struggle of the black child. What is he doing? He's oppressing us. We don't want this.
There has been pleas that from those that are up there, that you wait with the process, that you give the process a bit of time, that you make sure that while they are talking inside, you wait for them to come and give you an outcome. Is the process something that you're willing to wait for, or what do you need?
We have no problem. We don't have a problem with the process. But who knows what they're talking about in there? They could be manipulating the situation for all they care, for a weekend. So what we want is negotiations out there, with the students involved. You see all these kids, here, including myself. I'm a daughter of the working class. My mother's struggling to put me through UJ. What am I supposed to do? Sit down and wait? Oh no, they'll just come out and then we'll talk about it. No, we want to be engaged with. We want to be asked questions. We want our opinion to matter, to count, to be solid. Right now, everything is just stagnant, and we're dissatisfied.
Thank you very much, Sissy. Dan, very strong emotions coming from out here. There has been pleas from students saying that they want a public engagement. They have been saying this at Wits from the beginning of this week and last week as well, that they need a public engagement. They want to speak to officials on a public platform. They want to negotiate on a public platform. They are not interested in meetings that are held behind closed doors. And as you even saw from the statement of the National Shutdown Committee, that committee came out to say that why are meetings taking place behind closed doors? They want whoever officials are speaking in there to come and engage them on a public platform. And you know that Wits management even came out to say that they are not willing to negotiate with the crowd. They just would like to negotiate with the leaders. So it is a bit of a stalemate to see who is going to make the first move, whether someone from that meeting is going to be walking out of here and speak to the students, or it's still going to remain as tense as it is outside.
The student leaders who are inside, I think they are being dictated inside. Why is the meeting not televised?
They have been given some money to
guys assembled at Burger Park, and where did you come from?
TUT. From TUT. University of Technology.
From TUT. You came straight here.
We came to strike. We want Blade must fall. Yesterday he said students must fall. Today is the one who's supposed to fall.
So why do you want to come inside?
We want Blade himself. We want Blade now. Let them have Blade.
Let's take you to another point in the fence, Kathy. I want our camera to show you just how precarious this fence is. It might actually come down. Again, let's talk about what students want. Some are calling for calm. Some are saying open the gate. Let's hear from students.
We want these gates open now. We want to come in. We are here to address the president. They must open.
You want to go straight up to the Union building to talk to the president?
You want to see president face to face now. They must open this gate. Open this gate now.
You know that he is going to address students from that podium up there. You're not prepared to wait.
Yeah, we are not prepared to wait. We wait so long. Now it's time to finalize.
What campus are you from?
We are tired of TUT, VET. We are tired of dialogue.
Another one says he's tired of dialogue.
We are tired of dialogue. Zuma must implement a policy that will say that we do not pay our tuition fees. We are saying that we are tired of dialogue. We are tired of fighting. We want changes, and changes must come now.
They must come straight now. God might actually come down. Or at least, injured by some of the missiles coming over the fence. So far, absolutely not. We want to get through. We want to engage directly with the president. So I'm not sure how this is going to unfold. Again, I want to focus on this area, but when we got here in the morning, Kathy, there were about 20 police vehicles on the side of the street. And one of the observations, and one of the things that's been spoken about a lot, is whether they will be capacitated to deal above police helicopter, and more students are heading towards this section of fence.
I was saying she can hear you.
I can hear right now. How's it going for you? Right now, guys, now. Hello? Some of the chanting and what they're saying. All right, I'd rather show you than tell you, Kathy. So let's just show you what's happening. These are the gates on the South Lawns. This gate is all that stands between the South Lawns and direct access.
Oxford University, NYU, and a whole bunch of other international institutions have expressed support of solidarity back home. Today they are protesting to march from Russell Square to Trafalgar Square, which is a 20-minute march where they will petition the ambassador back home to look at the issue of education. And
These are indeed extraordinary pictures that are playing themselves out here outside the National Assembly at the moment.
the issue of fees.
Now, Philip, a sense of history there, lest we forget.
Three public entrances to the parliamentary precinct. The majority of where visitors enter would be through the Plain Street entrance. But it appears that these students have come through the entrance just off Spin Street. Outside the National Assembly at the moment.
They must come straight now. God might actually come down. Or at least, injured by some of the missiles coming over the fence. So far, absolutely not. We want to get through. We want to engage directly with the president. So I'm not sure how this is going to unfold. Again, I want to focus on this area, but when we got here in the morning, Kathy, there were about 20 police vehicles on the side of the street. And one of the observations, and one of the things that's been spoken about a lot, is whether they will be capacitated to deal above police helicopter. And more students are heading towards this section of fence.
I was saying she can hear you.
I can hear right now. Right now, guys, now. Hello? Some of the chanting and what they're saying. All right, I'd rather show you than tell you, Kathy, so let's just show you what's happening. These are the gates on the South Lawns. This gate is all that stands between the South Lawns and direct access.
Into Parliamentary Lane, and they've broken through the barricade there through Parliament and now made their way to the steps of the National Assembly. As you can see, public order police are trying to keep students at bay here. They've done riot here and they are now trying to push him away from the door of the National Assembly. We do understand that VIP protection services are inside the building. They've barricaded that. There are plenty of government ministers, including senior government representatives and including MPs inside. So again, extraordinary pictures playing outside here in the National Assembly. If I can ask Nina cameraman to point there down towards Plain Street. It appears that the floodgates have opened where another gate of Parliament has now been broken through, and students are now making their way en masse to the steps of the National Assembly. Michelle, we're seeing a move here by riot police, by public order police trying to push students off. Where we have water bottles being thrown at police. We are following our cameras quite carefully here. We're following police quite carefully here as public order police trying to push students back there. Some of them are now sitting down. They say that they are sitting down. They are not resisting, and that they say that they are peacefully sitting down. It's going to make police's efforts to create some order here and get them out of the parliamentary precinct a little more difficult. As you can see, these students or protesters are pretty energized here. It is, one would say, an historic moment here with the gates of Parliament and the barricades and the security of Parliament having fallen in such a way in such a quick time. Just about a half an hour ago, many of these students were outside. We have a situation here with bottles and stun grenades have now just gone off. There are missiles being